The reason I decided to write the books in the first place was because I had been so inspired by the things that I'd learned while studying Kabbalah, and I had been studying for 7 years before I decided to go down this road. And in fact, it was my teacher that suggested that I do it. I can assure you that it was the last thing I ever imagined that I would be doing. What I wanted to do is I wanted to write stories for children that gave them some kind of insight and some kind of practical tool to remember when faced with adversity, in their lives, which all children are, and all, obviously one day they're going to grow up and become adults, and hopefully those things they learned as children will be remembered.
Does it distress you when people start to think it's all a bit of a fad?
Well, no more than it distresses me that people make any number of assumptions that they make about me. I wouldn't say studying Kabbalah for 8 years goes under the category, or falls under the category of being a fad or a trend. Now, there might be people who are interested in it because they think it's trendy, but I can assure you that studying Kabbalah is actually a very challenging thing to do. It requires a lot of work, a lot of reading, a lot of time, a lot of commitment, and a lot of discipline.
There will be change within the Palestinian Authority, probably sooner rather than later. You have been to Israel. You are currently appearing in a small snippet of you in a promotion for Israel. Yeah. Does the changes that are about to take place, do you think, does it give you hope or make you worried for what might happen?
It was interesting going to Israel. It was much easier for me to understand the conflicts that are going on there. It's really hard to understand it when you're not there and you're just watching the news all the time. I think that it goes back to what we were talking about before. I mean, at the end of the day, we all have to stop thinking in a fragmented way. I'm a Jew, so this is what I get. I'm a Muslim, so this is the land I get. I mean, in the end, and I know this sounds like a cliche, we do have to stop seeing each other in terms of tribes, in terms of this is my group and this is what I belong to. And that's really what frightens me about religious thinking, because it encourages people to think in a fragmented way.
Are you disappointed, are you distressed by what you now see as the deep polarization within the United States?
On the one hand, I'm distressed because I don't like the idea of polarization. But on the other hand, I think that's what's happening in the rest of the world. I think we are all polarized. I mean, I think people are becoming either incredibly more superficial and greedy, or there's an equal amount of people who are also searching and trying to find a way to reconcile all the differences in the world and bring people together.
If you could affect one change, just one, what would it be?
To get George Bush to study Kabbalah. Yes, it'd be amazing.
And maybe Tony Blair could join me.
That's a very good idea.
A final thought. If your daughter decided to prance around on the stage in her underwear, singing and hollering, would you approve?
If she was an adult, there's, not a lot I could do about it. She would be free to make that choice.
Would you approve? If she behaved like you, if she mirrored your life to some extent, as a mother, who's now essentially found a spiritual way of life, would you approve?
Probably not.